Hello, it's Marika Lake here. I live on the west coast of Australia with my hubby Greg, and we homeschool our 4 kids. I have Will, who's in grade 9, Emily is in grade 5, Cruz is in grade 3, and Jackson is in grade 1. And we are going into our 5th year of homeschooling here in the Lake House Homeschool. In today's video, I am going to show you inside the Earth Science unit study from Gather Round Homeschool. We are using Gather Round Homeschool again in our house for 2023, and the first unit study that we are using this year is Earth Science. So I am going to show you inside. So I'm going to show you inside the teacher's guide, and I have printed out 3 of the notebooks to show you today. Now we buy the family digital bundle as I'm using this curriculum with multiple children, and I print out the curriculum myself on my printer at home. I just have a Epson Eco Tank, which is really great. I really recommend those printers because they have refillable ink, so it works out to be so much cheaper. And I have a binding machine at home, so I just do all the binding myself. And so I purchased the family digital bundle and I print out everything that I need. So I have got the teacher's guide, which I will show you inside today, and we have an early readout notebook, an early elementary notebook, and the middle school notebook. Now in the family digital bundle, you get all of the notebooks for all of the ages. But as I'm only using 3 of the ages, that's just what I'm going to show you today. Okay, so let's have a look at the teacher's guide. Now on the website, on the, I think it's called like the download section, you can find all of the extra pages that are not included anymore in the teacher's guide. They took them out simply because the teacher's guide just becomes too big and bulky. So all of those planning pages and book lists and things like that are all available on their website for you to have a look at. Even before you purchase the curriculum, you can have a look at those pages. And so you can download those pages, print them off, and pop them into the teacher's guide if you wanted to do it that way. I have not printed those pages off, I just look at them online. But I love that they include a book list for each of the ages for each of the unit studies. So what I usually do is look at those book lists, and I will especially look for novels for my older children, and I will purchase a novel to go along with the unit study for my children to read. I'll either pick one for them to read, and sometimes I pick a read aloud that I will read aloud to all of the kids as well. But I love that they do that book list with extra books and resources that you can grab and throw into add into this unit study. So make sure you check out those pages. I will link those pages in the description box down below so you can find them and have a look at those for yourself. So let's have a look at what you get inside the teacher's guide. So it just starts off with a note to the teacher, and then these really helpful pages. So people always ask me how long it takes, how long do you work on the lessons for, and that is all included in these outlines here. So just in this section here, it says a day with Gather Round. And so what it is you read aloud from the teacher's guide, which is this book here, which I'll show you in a minute. And that says it usually takes between 15 to 30 minutes. It depends how you go about reading aloud, whether you take little breaks in between or you like to look up more information as you're reading and things like that. Then the notebooks, and that can usually take anywhere between 30 to 90 minutes for your children to complete the work in their notebooks. And again, it just is totally up to how fast your children work to how long that will take. And we also throw in watching videos as well to go along with this. And then this is always really helpful here, this section here. So as I said, we purchased the family digital bundle, and it comes with the teacher's guide and then all the notebooks for the different ages. And here are the different notebooks that you get and the rough ages that might be using that book. Again, you can slot your child in wherever you feel is best for them. So it comes with a pre-reader notebook, which is for roughly 3 to 5 year old children. So any child not reading it. Then we have the early reader books, which are usually for 6 to 8 year olds. We have the early elementary notebooks, which are for 8 to 10 year olds. We have the upper elementary books, which are for 10 to 12 year olds. We have the middle school notebooks, which are for 12 to 15 year olds, and high school, which is 16 to 18 years old. So again, these are just recommended ages. You can fit your child into any one of those books where you feel it is suitable, but it's great that they include a rough guide. Okay, and let's get in and have a look. So here is the contents page. So you can see it is 20 lessons worth of work, and we usually do here in our house 1 lesson a day, and we will do 2 to 3 lessons a week. So a unit study for us will take all of a whole term. So here in Western Australia, our school year is divided into 4 terms of 10 weeks each. So usually for us, a unit study will last a whole term. So there are the lessons, and then there's just an appendix section at the back. And then it dives straight into the lessons. So this is lesson 1, and it's looking at the earth, history, age, and composition. And basically what it does, it has all of these read aloud sections, and it will have illustrations to go along as well. You can see here, this is more read aloud. They throw in activity breaks where you can stop and do an activity together. More reading aloud, more pictures. And then that's the end of lesson 1. So what you would do is you would sit down with your children all together and you read aloud to them. I usually have this on my computer, and I have Apple TV, and I just cast these pages to the TV, and we sit on the lounge and I read aloud, and all the children can see the illustrations on the TV while I'm reading. So we will read aloud all of that information. And then it gets to the end here, and this is a glance for you as the teacher of what they're going to be doing in each of the notebooks. So it says here you stop, and then the children work on their notebooks, and then you can see what's happening in each of the notebooks. Now these unit studies cover all of the learning areas except math. So it has language, arts, science, history, geography, the arts, all of that thrown in here, which is excellent. So for science, in the notebooking pages, it'll have what they're doing in the early reader book, the early elementary book, the upper elementary, the middle, and the high schoolers. And if there is any answers that you need to have as well, that they are here too. So that's what they're going to do in science in their notebooks. This is what they're going to do in social studies in their notebooks. For language arts plus Bible, there's more science here, and art and Bible here. And then it goes into the next lesson. So this is lesson number 2, which we would then do the next day. Again, it's set out exactly the same. This one's looking at landforms of Earth. It has all of the read alouds here that you read aloud, and of course images to go along with what you are learning about. That's why I like to cast this onto the TV so all of my children can see the pictures. And again, this is what the children will be doing in their notebooks for that day. And then we're into lesson number 3. And all of the lessons are set out the same. This one is on fuels and energy. It has all of the read alouds for you. They throw in some activity breaks and some extension activities that you can stop reading aloud and do this activity together, or you don't have to do that. You can just read aloud and move on to your notebooks. and then at the end of that lesson it has what they're going to do in the notebooks. All right, let me just give you a flip through of some more of the lessons so you can have a look. And there is an appendix section at the end, and that will just throw in any kind of extra things that you might need to use during the lessons. So this has got a world map, and it has the continents and countries and bodies of water on there. And then it's got the different continents there. They've got America and Canada. This is a Canadian curriculum, and so that's why they've got Canada and America in their appendix. So there you go, there's a look inside the Teacher's Guide for Earth Science. So I have the early reader notebook here. So this is the notebook that my son, who is going to be turning 8 this year, is going to be working on. It just has a welcome page here. There is a scope and sequence at the beginning of each of the notebook, which just covers, it's just listed down all of the things that are going to be covered in this notebook, and it's just broken it down into the learning areas. This is great kind of overview of what you're going to be covering. So these are all the things that he's going to be covering in geography, history, science, all of the language arts, the Bible, and the art. So it's just handy to have that so you can have an overview of all the things they're going to look at inside his notebook. He also has a reading log, which is at the beginning, which is really great. It's really a good idea to keep a track of all the books that they are reading or you are reading to your children over the school years. So sometimes we take these pages out and actually put them in my children's portfolio. So I love that they include a reading log. So at the beginning here, we just got a table of contents of all the lessons, and then they have an appendix section, which includes any cutouts or extra things that they need to complete their lesson is all included in the appendix, which is great. Okay, so we have lesson 1, which is I showed you, we read aloud from the Teacher's Guide, we have a look at the pictures, and then also Gather Round Homeschool on their website, they also have a list of videos that go along with each of the lessons. And so we will watch those videos. They're often just on YouTube, and so we'll read aloud, we will sit and watch all the videos on there, and then the children will complete the pages in their notebook, and they usually have about 5 pages per lesson to complete. So we're having a look at lesson 1 now. It has all the instructions written down, and everything that they will need paper wise is included in their notebook. You'll just need to add your supplies, as in your pencil for writing, any art supplies you might need, or if there's a small experiment, you'll need to gather those as well. So it just has instructions, so as he will either, if your child can read, they can read it themselves, or you can read it aloud to them. So this is a science activity. They're looking, and a Bible, they're looking at the days of creation, and here is a section for him to write one thing that he has learnt. Then this is the next page here. This is a science and art page. Then we have language, arts, and Bible. So he is, this is copy work, but this is handwriting as well. So he's just writing over the Bible verse. Then he's got a spelling activity. We've got another science sheet here. This will require cutouts. So he'll be cutting out the layers of the earth and gluing them here. And those cutouts are located in the appendix at the back of this book. And then this is an art project where he'll be drawing a picture here, and then it is on to lesson number 2. So that's all the sheets he would do for one day, plus then we would add in math, and that's school for the day. Here is on to lesson 2. Again, he'll have 5 to 6 pages to complete. This is a science page. He's got a colouring in here and a drawing section. He's got writing here, writing one thing he learnt from when I read aloud to him. He has a language arts page here. This is another language arts page. This is a geography and maths, history, and then this is on to lesson number 3. So you can see they do a little, on one day they'll have language arts, science, it's all mixed in on each day you do a little bit of each subject area, which is great. So I will give you a quick flick through of the rest, not all of this book, because my video will just take too long, but most of this book, just so you can get an idea of what the activities look like. Then at the end, as I said, there is an appendix section, and in this appendix section it has all of the extra sheets that you're going to need to complete any of the activities, and also any cutouts that you need for the lessons. And as you can see here, they're clearly marked for what page they are intended for. So I just love it that it's an all-inclusive curriculum. Everything you need to teach this earth science is included in this family bundle. Everything you need is in the teacher's guide to read aloud, and then all you have to do obviously is add in any small equipment and art supplies, but it's all-inclusive. It has absolutely everything you need to teach the unit. Okay, there's even some instructions here. This one says how to make your own weather station, weather journal pages, how to record data. Awesome. Okay, so that was a look inside the Early Reader notebook. The next one I have for you is the elementary notebook, which my daughter will be using. She's 9, turning 10 this year. She's probably at the upper end of this this kind of stage, and throughout the year when we do our next unit study, she'll probably move up into upper elementary, but we're just starting with early elementary for her at the beginning of the year. Set out exactly the same as the one I showed you. Again, starting with the scope and sequence, having a look at all the different things that she's going to be covering in her notebook. She also has reading log pages as well at the beginning, and then it all jumps straight in. We've got the contents page and her appendix, and we're in with lesson 1. Now, a lot of the lessons will look very similar, but it's just slightly adjusted to fit the level. So this is a science page, which looks a lot like the one in the other notebook I showed you, but this time they've got a word bank to do the labeling, not cutouts like the other book would have been. Just writing section there. This is science and art. We've got language, arts and Bible here. As you can see, the notebook before had it already written, and my son would be tracing over it. This time there's just lines with the Bible verse there, so it's just copy work. We've got spelling down the bottom here. This is science. This is art activity, and then into lesson number 2. So lesson number 2, which would be then done the next day for us. She's got a science page here. This is language arts. They usually have a writing project in each of the unit studies, and they'll have pages throughout the entire unit study leading up to the final writing piece. And so that's the start of that. This is language arts again. This is science and a little bit of math thrown in. Again, as I said, you have to actually add math to this curriculum. It has a little bit of math thrown in, but not enough to be a full math program. This is, what is this? History. And then this is on to lesson number 3. And so again, just 5 pages each day. For her to complete, and I'll just do a quick flip through while I'm chatting with you so you can see the other pages. So now with this curriculum, this is definitely enough. You can use this for your entire curriculum. As I said, you can just add in math, or you can use this as a starting point, and you can start to add in other things that you would like. If one of the subjects that you're learning about excuse me, really interests you, then you can definitely go away and look up more videos, check out books of the library, find out more information. You could definitely use it as a starting point, and you can add in to discover more information. You could also, what I tend to do if my children have a weak area that we're really focusing on that year, then I'll tend to add things in for that. And so one of my children needs a lot more help with writing. So I usually add in extra writing practice for them, just because I've just noticed it's a weakness and we really want to work hard on that. Or if you find that, you know what, there's just not enough spelling for my child in here, so I'm just going to add in extra spelling. And so what my child would do would complete the 5 pages that they are supposed to do a day, and then add in maybe 10 minutes of extra spelling practice, or even just 5 minutes. And so that's what we tend to do. Okay, and then, so that was a little look at some more of the pages in this notebook, and then I'll just show you the appendix section as well. As you can see, they're doing obviously a science journal throughout this unit study, so they've included these. You obviously take these pages out, fold them up and turn them into a little book, so there's space for writing and for pictures. And then here are any of the cutouts that they will need to complete any of the activities. As you can see, there's only 1 page in this notebook because they're getting older, so they can draw more and write more than what the previous book was, but there's still cutouts there. And then there's these journaling pages as well. Again, how to create your own weather station, and then weather journal pages as well. And then the last one I have to show you is the middle school book. My son is 14 and he'll be 15 throughout the year. So for the beginning of the year, which is when we're doing this unit study, we're starting off in middle school, but by the end of the year, he'll definitely move out of the middle school notebooks and into the high school notebooks. But I thought we're doing this book, this unit study first term this year. So we just start off at our normal level and then we'll move up. Alright, so again, just set out really much the same. So it has your scope and sequence, all of the things that he's going to be looking at in this notebook. And then some reading log pages. And as you can see, now that the kids are getting older in this notebook, everything just looks a little bit more grown up and a little bit different. So they still have the reading log pages, they just look a little bit different. Okay, and then into our lessons. So he'll have there's the same amount of lessons in this book. Obviously, they're just tailored for different children, and often there's more research. So they'll need more information to complete their activities. So they'll need to either have books on hand for them to look up, or of course the trusty internet that you can look up more information, or even using the teacher's guide. So this is lesson number 1 with a science activity, and they have the science activity here, and then they've thrown in an extension activity again. Again, this is something you can do, or you don't have to do it, but it just takes the level of learning even further for the older children. This is the social studies page. This is language arts. Again, in the book before, they had the Bible verse written here, and then the children would copy it on the lines. This time they've just provided the Bible verse location, and your kiddo will need to go look that up for themselves and then write it out here. This is another science activity and Bible activity, and then on to lesson number 2. So what was that? Sorry, I paused. This is lesson number 2. So they've got a science page, they've got a language arts page, 2 language arts pages. Then this is geography and math. This is history. And then on to lesson number 3. So let me give you a flip through of what some of the other lessons are. As I said, this is all the information they need is usually in the teacher's guide, but sometimes they require you to look up extra information, and so that's when they learn to do research. And so for me in our house, we use the internet for our research, and I will also grab some books. We have our own kind of collection here in our homeschool of non-fiction books, and so there'll be books there that they can look at, or if I feel like I would like some more for them to access, then I would just go to my local library and get out books on this topic that I can add to our collection during the term, and then my son can use those books anytime that he needs to look up any extra information. There's also an appendix section at the back here. Not too many cutouts for this age, but there's a science experiment written out here for them and charts that they might need to complete that experiment. They've also got the rock journaling pages that the other notebooks have. They just look a little bit different. What else we got here? Here we go, the weather, how to make the weather station again. And then sheets to go along with recording data from the weather station that they make. So that was a look inside the middle school notebook. Thank you so much for watching my video today. I hope that you found that helpful. If you are new to homeschooling, make sure you check out my Homeschool 101 series that I did in January here on my YouTube channel. I will fly a card up the top for you and pop a link in the description box down below to that playlist so you can go and check out those videos for yourself. I just did videos on all kinds of things related to homeschooling, how to get registered, how to navigate the Australian curriculum, how to write up a learning plan, how to put together a learning portfolio, all the things that you would like to know on your homeschooling journey. So make sure you check out that playlist. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I love it if you would. Just hit that red subscribe button down below. And if you hit the bell notification, you'll get notified when my videos go up on my channel. Thank you so much for watching my video today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.